Mic check, mic check. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon to people in the Midwest and on the East Coast. Good morning to people on the West Coast. This is TNT Joe-Fi Tech News that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. Episode something. I don't remember because I haven't kept count. How's everybody doing today? Just another nice quarantine day here in Chicago. At least the weather's nice outside. I went for a little walk, so kind of took the monotony out of being at home all day. I see Brian in here in chat. Brian, what's going on, man? How you doing? Good afternoon. Android stud, let's go. I need that mic stand. I can give you an Amazon link if you really are looking for a mic stand. Just let me know. I forgot what brand it is, but I'll let you know. So I'll help you out if you're looking for it. So, but thanks for joining the stream, Leo. YouTube, Brian. I see Days One in here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Days One. How's it going? Okay, so let's get into it. There isn't a lot of tech news today. I mean, there's always tech news, right? But there's nothing that like really struck out to me. We can talk about the OnePlus 8 and we can talk about the iPhone SE all day, but I would like to kind of get into other things. If it is something you guys want to talk about, we can talk about it in chat. We can discuss, but let's get started. So the first thing I do want to talk about though is the LG Velvet. So this has been a phone that got kind of released. People were talking about it. New stunning design. I don't know. I guess it depends on how you feel about it. I was kind of reading up on it just to see what the specs were. And there isn't a ton of like specific specs, but let's kind of just read in and see what's going on. So this article from Android Central is titled LG Velvet News Leaks, Release Date, Specs, and Rumors for the LG 9 or LG G9, because apparently this would be the successor to the LG G8. Here's what LG's got cooking up for 2020. And here's a quick screenshot of the, new LG Velvet that's supposedly coming out. Well, it will be coming out. There's a whole teaser for it from LG with this raindrop design on the camera here. So from like descending order from largest to smallest in size. With so many phones that are released during a given year, it only makes sense for some of them to slip between the cracks. Other companies get fiercer, prices get more competitive, and those that aren't truly amazing often get left to the wayside. And I think it's important that we do bring up these other phones, especially even ones that I don't care much for. I think one of those reasons is because now I'm kind of looking at it where in my head, I'm like, man, maybe I can buy or find a good used or even a new phone for under 500 bucks. And even if I'm not happy with the UI, because I've said it again, I've said it a lot of times, I prefer stock Android. I prefer the Pixel experience. And in my head, it gets me going, well, maybe I can start getting back into that modding world, right? That's something I used to do a lot. That's one of the reasons I switched over from my iPhone because I owned the original iPhone. And then I switched over to a Galaxy Nexus. And I think one of those big reasons was because I started to really get into the customizing part of it. And I've kind of strayed on those ways. I've just assumed that Google would give me that perfect experience, but then you have these other manufacturers that, kind of skin it their way and they add some of their features, which is not a bad thing necessarily. For me, it's not my preference. It might be for some people, but maybe it's time I look into these cheaper phones, skin it, and see if it's a serviceable phone. See if it's something that I could actually use. So let's kind of continue here. Unfortunately, that seems to have been the case for LG for the last few years. The company makes solid devices, but a handful of quirks or missteps keep them from achieving true greatness. 2020 is here, and this time around, we're expecting to see the LG Velvet, a successor to the G8 by a different name. Here's the thing, too, is when the G series, when I reported that the G series lineup, they were killing it, I thought that was it. I thought maybe they were just going to continue with their V series then, and then maybe not come out with a new G series or whatever they're calling it now, Velvet. Velvet's such a weird name for me. I mean, I guess they want to stray away and do something different instead of just giving it a letter, right? So they're calling it Velvet. Still kind of a weird name for a phone, I think. But anyway, uh so is this a year LG will finally be able to turn things around? Here's everything we know so far about the phone. So, and actually, the G8 is here, but I want to talk about that a little later. I think Android Central put this here because they have an affiliate link. It's not 750, by the way, but anyway. So LG taking a new approach to its design. At the very beginning of January, leaked renders surfaced of what was supposedly the LG G9. The renders seem pretty credible and like they might be the real deal. Uh, and like sorry, but it ended up turning out that they were actually renders of the LG V60. Fast forward to April, LG shared official sketches of its upcoming smartphone to give us a tease of what it'll look like. So if you haven't seen this yet, I'll play it for you guys. I won't play music because of copyright, whatever. But the front of the device appears to have a display with very minimal bezels along with a slight curve on the edges. The three cameras on the back are also positioned quite differently from most other Android phones, with LG saying this is a raindrop design with the different camera sensors descending in size to mimic images of falling raindrops, ending with the LED flash at the bottom. Also present on the phone is a 3D arc design, with LG curving the display and rear panel for a symmetrical and natural in-hand feel. So let's actually take a look at this video. I like the color already offhand. I think I like this kind of color scheme. I've never owned a phone like that yet. And then again, that raindrop design with, the camera sensors or whatever. Now, I don't know if that's two sizes. I don't think it is. I think it's just, however the marketing is for it. But yeah, it doesn't look bad at all. And if you actually caught this end part here, right? Hold on. Let me pause it right here. If you see, god damn it. I just want this part to go away. Okay, well, below here where it says Qualcomm Snapdragon, it doesn't say 865. It's not they're not touting the new LG 860, or they're not touting the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chipset. That says Qualcomm Snapdragon. That says Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G, I think. No, just 765 5G. So it's a 765 chipset, which is the same chipset that they want to put into the Pixel 5. And it looks like a lot of other phones are starting to kind of sway towards the 765 chipset over the 865. Whether that be because of price, I don't know. I'm assuming so. Or they think it's going to be serviceable enough where, they think that it can still be a flagship phone, but not with the highest end processor, which is actually really weird to say right now, because here we have Apple releasing their iPhone SE that's going to have the fastest chipset on any phone. Okay, it's just something to wrap your head around. So while LG didn't mention the phone by name when it shared these sketches, that changed on April 18. On that date, LG uploaded a teaser video showing renders of the device in question, along with confirming its name as the LG Velvet. So we talked about, the video here. LG's been pretty consistent with its device branding over the years, but for 2020, that's changing. Two reports from March 27 indicated that the entire G series branding is dead for future smartphones, and that LG is shifting to a naming scheme that will highlight certain features, aspects of that particular device. Following this, LG confirmed that its new phone will be called Velvet. Okay, let's forget about that. We already know this. Specifications for the LG G9 or whatever it ends up being called. Is it not called the Velvet, or is that their code name for it? Or did that just all escape me right now? Anyway, but there is one tidbit worth talking about in the teaser video for the LG Velvet mentioned above. LG confirms that the phone is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 765 5G processor. This is something that's also been rumored for the Google Pixel 5, indicating that multiple companies are seeing value in Qualcomm's more efficient or more affordable chipset. Are there any phones out right now with the 765 5G? I don't know. If you guys know, let me know in the chat. While some might scoff at LG for not using the highest end Snapdragon chipset available, we think this is a pretty smart move. Not only is the 765 plenty fast, but it also brings 5G connectivity to the Velvet without jacking up the price as much as the 865 would. When it comes to the display, we should also see an OLED one, as the G8 was the first phone in the G series to use an OLED panel instead of an LCD one. The Velvet is also bound to have 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, expandable storage, which is still a nice plus for people who need that extra capacity and don't want to spend a ton of money on, additional internal storage. A 3.5 millimeter headphone jack with a quad DAC. Well, it says here, I was going to talk about the audio quality. A staple of LG phones in a world that's quickly moving past the legacy port. Also, superior audio quality for a lot of people who are looking for that. The presence of a headphone jack was confirmed in that above teaser video, but the specifics of it still remain unknown. We aren't sure about Air Motion and Hand ID. I actually didn't know that the LG G8 had that hand where it measures or it looks at the veins of your hand and tries to unlock the phone that way. I think this article stated that it wasn't really consistent. They call it the puzzling feature, where Air Motion and Hand ID, the former allowed you to control aspects of the phone by waving your hand over it, where the latter allowed you to unlock the G8 by having it scan the vein patterns in your hand. Interesting technology, but I don't know if that's any better than just putting a fingerprint reader on it. If you notice on this phone too, let me scroll back up to the top here. If you notice on this phone, there's no fingerprint reader on the back. It looks like just one camera sensor on the front. So are they going to do that hand thing, or are they going to have an in-display fingerprint reader? I don't know. Because maybe it's face unlock. I don't know. Okay. So, LG's always been known to try new concepts with its phones. So with these likely going the way of the Dodo, we're interested to see what takes their place. I'm I am all for technology and innovation and doing new things as long as they are taking the right path in doing that. For creating technology that's a gimmick to just be a gimmick, I mean, this is a controversial debate that I'm sure we can have because those kind of crazy, wacky, gimmicky ideas at first might actually turn into something really efficient later, something that might be widely adaptable in the future. Somebody takes that idea, refines it, makes it better. I get that. Again, the thing that bothers me is the fact that we as consumers have to pay that price. We pay that price in seeing if that is what is gonna. I don't know. We open up our wallets to get disappointed, and I just that's not the way it should be. But I guess that's what reviewers are for, right? To test it out and let you know. So for the past few years, LG has announced its new G series phone at Mobile World Congress in February. It did this for the G5, G6, and G8, with the G7 being unveiled at a special event in NYC during May. This year, LG decided to shake up its release formula. While the new V series model normally launches towards the second half of the year, the LG V60 was unveiled in February before the G9/Velvet. On April 3rd, it was reported that LG will launch the Velvet on May 15th. So maybe in less than a month. In regards to price, we're hoping LG is smart about how much it asks for the phone. The LG G8 had a starting price of $850 in the US. First of all, there's no way. Yeah, there's no way if it's going to cost more than $800, it can't be a Snapdragon 700 series. Even at $700, that seems like way too much for a 700 series. I don't know. I was trying to see if like last year's Snapdragon 855 would be better performing than a Snapdragon 765, and I think when I checked it is. I think the only like glaring feature on the 855 is that it doesn't have 5G, which again, I still don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, especially for 2020, but everybody wants to put 5G in their phones now because it's the thing, even though it's not really widely adopted or at least widely available and performing as it should. But this is what they want to do, so we're kind of at their helm. Or you kind of scale back and say, no, let me just buy 2019's phone that has 4G LTE, which is more than serviceable enough. And it's not even, I say serviceable, it's excellent for what it gives you in terms of cellular quality, because 5G is still not on pace with 4G LTEs yet. Will it be? Yes, it will. It'll probably be better. It'll surpass it. But right now, it is not the time to spend money on a phone because you want 5G. Let's just put it that way. It's hard to pin down an exact price for the phone, but we could see something in the range of $600 to $700 in a world where it's common for phones to cost $1,000 and up. That would be a wonderful breath of fresh air. I still think that's still a little expensive for a 700 series phone. Okay, so let's not count out the LG G8. Do any of you guys own a G8? Are you guys in LG's? Or any of you guys in chat on LG's? You know, I guess team. Not that people have, but some people have favorites, and some people love LG and they want to stick with LG. My last LG phone was a G6. I think. Yeah, G6 was my last LG phone. Maybe a G7, I can't remember. But I haven't had one since then. With all this talk about the LG Velvet, it can be easy to forget that the G8 is still out there and available for purchase. Real quick, I did check on Amazon, and the LG G8 ThinQ is selling for $600. For $600, you're getting a Snapdragon 855 chipset, right? And then a 3500 milliamp hour battery, a dual rear camera setup. I think it's the main shooter, and is it the ultra wide? I forget now. But at $600, I don't know if that's. I'm like thinking, because I'm looking at this price of $600 for the LG G8. Maybe there's a better price out there, but you could get that for $600, or you could get a OnePlus 7T for $500, and maybe the OnePlus 7T is still the better deal at $500. I mean, obviously it's $100 cheaper. Plus, you get 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. I don't know what this gives you. It 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, but you get micro SD expandable storage. You get a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, right? I don't know. Anyway, just let's kind of go on with the G8 here. So LG software is showing its age, and the cameras aren't the best money can buy. But if you're an LG fan, this is a solid pickup. I don't know. Is it a solid pickup? Is the LG G8 at $600 right now a solid pickup? I'm genuinely asking because I don't own one. I haven't used one in a while. I don't know if the UI is any good or if it's still receiving updates. I know LG hasn't been the best with updates, and I don't know if this is any different. Um, yeah, so that's about it. That's what I wanted to talk about with the Velvet. Let me go into chat. Say what's up to everybody. See if you guys have any comments or questions about it or how you guys feel about it. So let me try to say hi to everybody. I'm scrolling up. Leo says Velvet because it's smooth. I thought they were calling it Velvet because it was gonna kind of have a soft feel to it. I thought they were gonna actually use a different kind of backing, but it looks like not. You're probably right because it's smooth. I think that's what they were trying to say. Is it was more of an adjective than anything else. I see Andrew KW. Sorry, I botched that. I see Andrew KPW here. Andrew, how's it going, man? What's going on? Looks better than the OnePlus 8 series. I only wish LG can reduce the amount of their bloatware. You're preaching to the choir. That's how I feel about it. Again, stock Android guy here. That's usually the way I go. John M. Hey, John, welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. The only LG phone I ever had was a G5 and wasn't one of my favorites. I also own the G5. I did like the removable battery on it. I thought the speakers were really good on it. And I thought the UI was pretty clean for not even being stock Android. But yeah, it wasn't one of my favorites either. The build quality on it was really questionable. But I hear you. Anyway, welcome to the chat. So let me keep going down here. Days One says, I like the back of the Velvet. I like the back of the Velvet look as it's different from most now, which is true. You don't see this raindrop configuration on any other phone. Everybody's going with that square type, rectangular type of setup. That's not my favorite either. I mean, I think this looks better, but it's also not groundbreaking, but it's nice to see a company doing something different. Roland says here, I really dig the new minimalistic design. Roland, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you stopping by again. Yeah, I mean, it looks clean. It really does. There's look at if you look at the front, I mean, it's almost bezel-less. Gandex, as soon as I say that, Gandex says front is meh. I mean, is it just because it's boring, or are you looking for something without the teardrop, water drop, whatever you want to call it, notch on the top? I mean, if it was up to me, and I've said this now many times, I love OnePlus 7 Pro's pop-up camera. If I could have every phone do that, that would make my day, but that's probably not going to happen. Anyway, so let's see here. Mint Arcade. Hey, Mint. Oh, Gandeck also, by the way, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Mint Arcade, also welcome. I'm no scientist, but I know for a fact raindrops don't look like that. It's more like water droplets. Fair enough. Fair enough. Welcome to the stream, by the way, though. I did say that. So anyway, Andrew KPW says, I am keeping my OnePlus 7 Pro for the time being. It's hard not to. If I could... I keep saying I would buy blah blah blah, but maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm trying to go through the chat here, so excuse me, guys, before we move on. IPNOS, am I saying that right? Redmi K30 5G uses a Qualcomm 765G. That's good to know. So, can I use that in the States? Can I use a Redmi K30? In the States? I really want to see how well a 765 processor works. I'm just curious. I wonder if you could. Okay, let me just scroll down. Roland says, it annoys me that they're always saying the phone got more expensive because of the newer Qualcomm chip. There should be an alternative. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of like not spending a ton of money on phones anymore. I think all of this $1,000 phone stuff is a bunch of BS. I really wish, well, it looks like we might be headed in that direction. After Apple released their SE, it's not that other manufacturers haven't been doing it, but this might spur other companies to start saying, hey, we need to pay more attention to the $400 to $500 market. Let's see how good. I mean, it might be a really competitive field now. If you guys don't know, I ordered the iPhone SE and I'm looking forward to it to test the camera out, see how well it works. If I don't like it, I'll ship it back, but we'll see. For me, especially being a photographer, I'm looking forward to testing its camera out. Tech for your needs. Hello, folks. Hey, Tech for your needs. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. His last LG was the G4. I never even owned a G4. My first was a G5. Okay. I'm scrolling down so we can kind of continue on. I see Will in here. Will, what's up? Welcome to the stream, man. How's it going? Denelli, what's up, boy? What's up, Denelli? How's it going, man? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. Jude Campbell in here too. What up, Jerome? What up, Jude? What's up, man? How you doing? Simply your device. Welcome to the stream. Mike says Velvet sounds like a porn star. That's actually that's pretty on point. That sounds more like a porn star than it does a phone, for sure. Okay, let me move on, guys. I don't see anyone else new. Oh, Tech Gentleman. I see Six in here too. Tech Gentleman, what's up? What's up, Tech? How's it going? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. Six here says too, the iPhone SE did in some way shook up the market, but not everyone is a fan of iOS. Very true. But again, like if this is going to spur people to make better phones at better prices, I am all for it. I'm all for it. So again, guys, before I switch over and go on to the next story, I want to thank everybody for stopping by. If you haven't already, please feel free to like the video or like the stream. Liking it helps me in the whole algorithm thing. I think maybe it helps people find this stream going on. And if you do, I do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, if you guys missed the beginning, I feel like you guys missed the beginning. I had a whole new intro with new music and it had everybody thanking. I was thanking everybody, my patrons on Patreon. I was thanking them. I was thanking my super chatters for the month of April. And that's something I'm going to keep doing in every video now at the beginning and at the end, thanking my patrons and my super chatters. So again, thank you guys for stopping by. With that being said, and the whole marketing thing out of the way, let's move on to the next story. I have this article from Huawei, and it's titled Huawei caught claiming DSLR images were taken with its phones. Why Huawei? I mean, for a company that has a great camera from everything I've been hearing, I mean, the only Huawei I've ever owned is a Nexus 6P. Wait, I might have owned another Huawei phone. Anyway, well, the Nexus 6P is the only phone that I've actually kept from Huawei. But why would they do this? Especially if their cameras are so good. Why would they claim DSLR images? So this article from Android Authority, it kind of is mind-boggling. Why somebody's going to catch you for doing that? Huawei is once again in the spotlight for passing off DSLR images as, quote, taken with Huawei smartphones. Why? The company recently promoted a photography contest. You're promoting a photography contest and then you're going to lie about on Chinese microblogging platform Weibo posting a video with a number of stunning photographs. It claimed that these pictures were shot by Huawei phones. However, one of those images was actually taken using a $3,000 Nikon D850 DSLR. The misleading photo was discovered by Weibo user Jamie Hua. When he saw the video, it reminded him of images he had seen before. After a bit of digging around, he found one of the photos on photography platform 500px. The source of the image clearly states that it's been shot using the Nikon camera, and its EXIF data also proves the same. You can see the image below. Like, that's obviously a great picture. It's edited really well, but yeah, it's not from a Huawei phone, apparently. So for its part, Huawei has apologized for the mistake. The company said that an editor, quote, wrongly marked the photos in the promo video as, quote, taken by Huawei phones. The company also thanked the Weibo user for pointing out the discrepancy. Huawei has altered the video since then and said that it'll be more careful in the future to prevent something like this from happening, which, okay, like you can give them credit for that, but it says here, sadly, this isn't the first time Huawei has been caught in a situation like this. So, really, was this an accident? Were they just hoping no one was going to catch them here? This has happened at least 3 times in the past. The last time the company published a series of photos on Weibo implying that they were taken by the P30 series of phones. The issue was later addressed when the company admitted that its promotional material could have been misleading. We don't understand why Huawei insists on making the same mistake again and again. Its cameras are some of the best in the industry, and it really doesn't need fake photos to prove that, which is true. I don't know. I just thought it was a little crazy that a company this big who's promoting a photography contest is going to go ahead and slip up and make that kind of mistake. Um, I just think they did it because they thought they weren't going to get caught. So just a short story there. Just wanted to kind of cover that. So let's see here. Mint Arcade says Huawei once again. Keyword once again. Roland says here, by the way, the new MediaTek Helio G90T supports Gcam on Redmi Note 8 Pro. I found an article about that. You guys need to start sharing some of these other phones with me because I don't know what can be used in the US. I don't actually know what would be worth testing out in the US. That's probably around the maybe $400 price point. Like what Xiaomi phone right now is the phone to get for under $400? Do you guys can you guys kind of like lead me into that direction so I can take a look, or Realme or Redmi, or there are just so many that I can't keep up. I don't know what is what can even be used in the States. I have T-Mobile, so I can pretty much use I think any world phone because of GSM, but I still want to use the best bands that I could use for T-Mobile. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. I can take a look at it. Days One says no accident there. I don't think so either. All right. So let's move on here, guys. Let's talk about the iPhone 12. All this talk about the iPhone SE, but it looks like Apple's still moving forward and trying to get their, latest flagship phone later this year. Maybe later this year. We don't know yet because just of everything going on. So that's an article I think is my next article is talking about when the iPhone 12 will it get released in 2020? Is it going to get released in September? Are they just going to keep going forward? I don't know. So a iPhone 12 might be the last Apple device with this iconic piece of tech. We know this. We're talking about the Lightning port here. Apple isn't quite ready to drop the Lightning port from its iPhones, according to one analyst. However, the iPhone 12 looks set to be the last Apple handset to use the proprietary connection. But if they release another iPhone SE, don't you think they would do that too? Or maybe not. Maybe they'd get rid of it also on the iPhone SE. Can you imagine? Just no ports on any of them. So John Prosser, who has a decent track record when it comes to Apple rumors, tweeted that the iPhone 12, quote, absolutely would not feature a USB-C port. And if that's the case, then the iPhone 12 will stick with Apple's arguably outdated Lightning tech. It's not clear where Prosser got this information from, whether from inside Apple staff or its supply chain, or a case or charging cable manufacturer, but the conviction in that tweet suggests it could be from multiple sources. His tweet here says, I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but no, there's absolutely not USB-C in iPhone 12. Apple will go portless before they go USB-C. And I think a big reason that they don't want to go USB-C is because they know that they would lose money. Having a Lightning port, one, will just save them from redesigning or whatever on their iPhones, but two, well, which also saves money, but two, imagine all the accessories that they can't sell once they get rid of it. But once they do, if they end up doing the portless thing, then yes, then they have all their wireless accessories that they can, get people to buy. And can you imagine that too? Imagine the first iPhones that come out that come portless. Then there's no charging cable. There's no like little power brick to go with it. Yeah, they would save a ton of money going that way instead of just going USB-C, having to redo all of that stuff. Then they can just go portless and whatever. I mean, looking at it in a business marketing perspective, I can see that. I can understand that. Is it beneficial to the consumer? No. I mean, not at all. I would still like to have USB-C. I would love to have that. I mean, why wouldn't I? Then I wouldn't have to keep bringing two different cables with me when I carry my iPhone 11 Pro and my Pixel 4 with me. Then I would just have one cable. I mean, I guess I could solve that by just carrying a wireless charger on me, but that shit's too slow. It's too slow for now. I mean, when that changes, then that's a different story, right? So in January 2020, European Parliament passed a resolution calling for the introduction of a single common charging port on all smartphones, namely USB-C, the standard currently used by most tech companies, which suggested that Apple would have to drop its proprietary ports. While that resolution isn't binding, so I did a video about this, I think a couple months ago, and how Apple really tried to loophole their way. They did. They loopholed their way around from keeping their Lightning port, I guess, for a long time. And they still are, and they still do. The EP issued a deadline of July 2020 for companies to comply. If any companies fail to comply, as would be the case if Apple were to release a Lightning-equipped iPhone or Lightning-equipped phone 12, iPhone 12 in September, which is when we expect to see the phone, the Parliament would likely look to pass legislation obliging them to fall into line. So it does seem that the iPhone 12 could be the last iPhone to pack a Lightning port, with future iPhones and iPads likely to use the faster standard USB-C instead, or perhaps to go portless. Quick question for you guys. How many of you guys use wireless, or do you guys still plug in? My Pixel 4, my iPhone 11 Pro, they're both capable of wireless charging, but I never wirelessly charge them. I have wireless chargers. I have the Pixel 3 stand that Google gave me for free when they gave me the 3 a while back, but I never use it. I prefer just plugging in. I mean, I have been for a while. Maybe that'll change over time, but even my Apple AirPods, my AirPods Pro, I don't wirelessly charge those either. I just plug it in all the time. I don't know. Maybe I should try switching over for a week and see if, I can get used to it. Maybe it's just a habit of me, but I'm wondering if you guys do. I'm wondering if you've gone that way where you just don't want to plug in anymore and you just wirelessly charge maybe once every night or when you're at work or whatever. I don't know, just asking. So let's see here. A portless iPhone 12. Prosser ended his tweet by saying Apple will go portless before they go USB-C, and some have taken this to imply the iPhone 12 will be a portless device, but this is highly unlikely. Portless would mean a phone with no 3.5mm headphone jack and no USB-C or Lightning port, with the device relying on wireless audio transmission, wireless charging, and wireless data transfer. It's a futuristic concept, but any phones like this right now, such as an unnamed device shown off by Apple last year, are just that, concepts. Let's talk about that though. It's not so much more of a concept as it is almost a reality at this point, because I've talked about this with my iPhone 11 Pro. Ever since this phone came out, it's become my daily driver because it has the best camera I've used on any smartphone. I carry that as my primary. I carry my Pixel 4 as my secondary, although right now that's flip-flopped because I've been trying to keep my Pixel 4 as my primary for maybe the last 2 weeks now because I really want to give it a second chance. But to continue with the iPhone 11 Pro, I've been using that as my daily, and I have AirPods Pros, right? And I use that almost daily because I work out like 6 days a week, or sometimes I just go for a walk. And every time I do, I put my AirPods Pros in. I use it when a phone call comes in most of the time. And here's the thing is, yes, it's annoying to have a dongle, but if this had a 3.5mm headphone jack, I would probably use my AirPods Pros still. I am not the biggest audiophile in the world. They sound good to me for what they are. The only time I ever connect for a wired headset is my when I game on my PC or when I need to hook up on my microphone here. Otherwise, I don't use it because I use it for editing video. That's the only time I hooked up wired, because that's when I really need to check for audio quality. And I'm not saying that it's not, I still want one of them. It would be great to have a headphone jack. I couldn't care less if it was there. People complain about it, but there's nothing wrong with having it in there. I'm just being honest and transparent and saying I don't really use it as much as I do. I think the only thing that I use this cable for now is for charging up, because even when I take video, or pictures on my iPhone, I just use AirDrop to move it to my MacBook Pro. That's kind of what I've been doing at this point. Or I just, I have my pictures and photos or photos and videos go to Google Photos, and it just all goes to the cloud, and then I download it from there. So, I mean, that reality doesn't seem like it's too far away. I don't want them to get rid of it. I'm not saying I'm not sitting here trying to make a case of why it needs to be portless, but I can understand why they're doing it. I still want to have, you know, I still want to have a cable for like my Android phones too, because I want to be able to push updates to it, right? And if I end up going back into modding phones again, I would love to have that so I don't have this like weird wireless. I mean, not that it's weird, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes being wired, sometimes being hooked up is a beneficial thing. You're always connected. You don't have to worry about disconnecting or having connection issues. Not that you can still have connection issues even if you're wired, but you know what I'm saying? Like right now, my stream, I don't stream wirelessly. If I streamed wirelessly, the stream would be awful. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be up to par as me being wired right now. So there are use cases for it. And to have that option is still a good thing. Okay, rant over. So let me continue. Apple has lost its reputation for innovation in the smartphone world, having yet to launch a foldable or 5G phone, and its phones all still have flat screens and sizable notches, which most brands have avoided on their 2020 flagships. So it seems unlikely the company would beat the competition to creating a truly wireless phone, especially given that consumers still use wired headphones and charging a lot, and Apple tends to follow consumer demand rather than lead it. As for processors' claim that Apple will go portless before they go USB-C, that's likely as much a rhetorical flourish as a serious prediction. It's much more likely the handset will use a Lightning port, with future iPhones using USB-C until a portless design becomes feasible. So here's the thing too. We're going to talk about the rest of this article because I guess John ended up finding or getting some information about a smaller notch, which we talked about, I guess, was that Friday, which is nice to see. I have been waiting for the iPhone to have a newer front design because it's getting a little tired. I mean, it's not annoying by any means, but I would love them to kind of get with 2020 and have a more modern looking front, especially for a flagship phone that I paid $1,000 for. But as well as commenting on the connectivity of the iPhone 12, Prosser also tweeted a sketch of the handset's notch. According to Process, God, every time I see this fucking guy's name, I keep wanting to say processor. According to Prosser, the iPhone 12 will still have a notch, although it'll be smaller than the one on the iPhone 11 and will still house the Face ID sensors and front-facing camera. I also heard that the speaker, so like you can see here, it's a lot smaller, but I heard the speakers are going to be better too, which I look forward to. The iPhone speakers are pretty good already, but I think they said a 10 to 15% increase in speaker quality, which I can't complain about. Space would be saved because the speaker, which was previously in the notch, would be housed in a very thin bezel at the top of the handset. The notches on newer iPhones have been a source of ridicule in some quarters, given their large size compared to the equivalents on other phones, and with some flagships using a less obtrusive punch hole design. So it's good to see Apple looking for ways to shrink the notch. Am I happy about the notch? No, I'm not. But I am happy to see them make it smaller. Is it acceptable then for $1,000? No, it isn't. But Apple still killed it with the iPhone 11 Pro, giving me great battery life and a great camera. And that's hard for me to it's hard for me to just say, well, the phone's not, because right now it's the best camera I've had on the phone, and the battery is really good, especially compared to my Pixel 4. Again, though, this is just a leak. We'll have to wait for Apple to officially unveil the phone to know for sure. Okay, I think that's all the iPhone. Well, okay, the other iPhone stuff I have here talks about that the iPhone 12 release might not happen until November. We can go into that. I don't know. Maybe we can talk about this tomorrow. Yeah, obviously there are issues in our world right now. I mean, most people probably aren't even going to spend $1,000 on this phone and come later in the year because the whole coronavirus, COVID-19, the whole pandemic is just causing a shift in everything, and the economy is one big thing. A lot of people are getting furloughed. A lot of people are getting, there's just a lot of shit going on, and that's why, like, even for you guys on, this past week or this whole month who have like super chatted or, continue to support me on Patreon. Like, I thank you guys so much because it's a tough time right now. And I totally get that. I totally understand. We're all there. So yeah, this might come out until later in the year. I think the only benefit for the iPhone 11, or I think the only benefit for the iPhone 12 to get released later in the year, at least for me, and I was talking about this with Brian, I think Brian brought it up to me, is the fact that I can still call my iPhone 11 Pro the flagship phone for Apple. I still have the latest and greatest. I think that's the only plus that I get out of this for them to release it later in the year, because I don't know if I'm going to have money to get the 12. I probably won't. And I keep saying I'm only spending $500 for a phone, max, shipped. I might have to have an asterisk that says with the exception of an iPhone or a Pixel, but I don't know yet. I don't know. So yeah, we won't get into it. I thought it might have been an accompanying article with this whole iPhone 12 leak stuff. So let's get into chat here. Um, let me see. Scrolling up. Sorry, guys. Mint Arcade says, my phone has a MediaTek P70, good enough for me now. I didn't bother to compare benchmark, but the camera is subpar. I just updated to Android 10 to see improvement, but haven't compared yet. Good to know. I mean, I don't do benchmarks either. I think benchmarks are, it's a whole pissing match. Not that it wouldn't be bad to benchmark just to see what the numbers get, but for me, my benchmark is, can I use my phone throughout the entire day with no lag? That's really it. If I'm lagging where like I'm pulling up Chrome browsers and I'm waiting for it because it's lagging, that's going to piss me off, and I would rather not. That's kind of why I want to test a 765G processor to see, or chipset, to see how well this phone is actually going to do on a Pixel 5. I don't know. Six says, do you think people will be down with the portless, same as with the headphone jack being gone? I think people are going to bitch and moan, just like the headphone jack, and rightfully so, because I just don't see the point of removing it. People they might, people are going to complain, but people will eventually quote fall in line. Maybe not everybody will, but then you're going to see everybody else doing it, and then everyone else is going to get pissed off. I I don't use a headphone jack like I used to, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't have one in there. I'm just putting that out there. Just because I'm not using one lately, I mean, maybe I would use one more if I was just at home sitting at my desk or at work and I could plug it in. Maybe I would just do that instead, but the only time that I really use headphones or whatever is when I'm editing video or I'm working out. Those are the only two times I really use it, or if I don't want to bother people. And really, having AirPods Pros or wireless earbuds, I keep saying it, but those are the ones I own. Having that is just convenient for me, and it does well. And like, I remember when I first had wireless, like truly wireless earbuds, I think my biggest point of contention was the fact that there was lag on it. Not lag, audio. The audio didn't sync with video, and that was annoying for me. So yeah, at that point I didn't like using them, but now with my AirPods Pros, I pop those in and the video syncs with, the audio, and I it works fine. It works fine on my Pixel 4 too. Since I've used my Pixel 4 now as my daily, my AirPods Pros have switched over to that as well. Okay. So let me continue on. Um, Six also says, oh shit, why am I lagging here? Are my things not showing up? Scrolling up. My stuff is not working, guys. Hold on. I'm refreshing. Hold on, guys. For some reason, are you guys in chat? Can you guys still see me in here? Am I good? Please let me know, because I can't even show I can't show comments right now. So I'm restarting the Okay, hi. Did I lose people? Okay, what the fuck? Sorry guys, I don't know what happened there. Something happened. Like my comments and whatever didn't show up. I don't know. Um okay, I see super chat. So let me do this real quick. Brian with the dollar super chat. Brian, thank you so much, man. Thank you for the support. Brian has been a long time supporter for a while, and you're so consistent with these super chats. So thank you, man. It means a lot to me. I appreciate you uh with the super chat. Thank you again, Brian. Thanks so much. I see Days One here too with a $5 super chat. Days One, thanks so much, man. Towards that next device. Well, just so you guys know, um, for you super chatting, thank you so much, by the way. This also goes into my intro and outro now for the title screen. So if you guys came late, during my intro, I was thanking all my patrons, and I was also thanking all my super chatters for this month of April. So I'll add you in there, Days One. Thank you so much for that super chat. Towards the next device, I'll let you know. Guys, thank you again for the support. I will go through the rest of this chat though. Sorry for getting all whatever happened to my browser, but let's go back real quick. If you guys haven't, if you're new to the stream, please feel free to like the video. Liking the video helps me in the whole algorithm thing. I think I'm getting really used to saying the same shit over and over, which is why I'm saying it a lot faster. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I enjoy doing this because I love talking tech, but I don't know everything in the world, which is why I love talking with my community and talking in chat, because I think it helps us grow as tech people, consumers, and just finding what's good, what's out there, what we should buy, what we should not stay, or what we should stay away from. End of my marketing thing there. Guys, thank you again for coming by. Okay, let me scroll down. Six says I still plug in, just like me. Days One also says plugging in here because it's faster. Mint Arcade uses a VOOC 2.0 charger. I gotcha. Roland says, I think the company should give MediaTek a try. I want to give MediaTek a try. I don't think it's as bad as it once was. It also makes me think of that Dimensity. I've heard people saying that chipset, or some of those Dimensity ones, are actually really good, and some of them outperform the Snapdragon ones. So I'd be curious to try those out. I really would. Okay. Days One says, how would you downgrade the iPhone if it was portless in the event of buggy beta software? That's really a good point. I mean, who knows? What are you going to be able to do when you can't plug in anymore? I mean, maybe they're going to figure a way out to do that, but I don't know if they will. Maybe they will. I think, right, Days One, you would know. Hasn't Android done that? Isn't there a way to ADB into stuff wirelessly or Bluetooth? I don't know. Maybe let me know in the chat. Okay, let me see here. Sorry guys, I'm not going to be able to go through everything. Mint Arcade says John Poozer. I don't know why I keep saying his name wrong. It sounds like processor every time I see it. Daniel Lupker. Hey Daniel, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, man. How you doing? Leo says Bluetooth for life. BG Tech Life. Hey, what up, fellas? What up, BG? How's it going, man? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. Holy shit. Daniel with the $10 super chat. Throw me in that intro. Daniel, thank you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, you're gonna go into the intro and the outro. They're both I do both now, so I'll add you in the intro and the outro. That does take me some time. It took me some time to do last night, but I figured if anybody super chats or whatever, and I put it in order of like how much you've. But anyway, I want to take that time because I want to thank you guys. So Daniel, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. And if you guys don't know, Daniel and I, we work together. We have a news organization where we talk about, well, it's politics stuff. So I'm sure tech guys aren't, but if you guys want to check that out, we have a channel called Hard Lens Media. So I might as well shout you out in there too, Daniel. Anyway, Daniel, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay. Scrolling down. Roland says, it's a shame Android phones are starting to exceed Apple in prices, mainly in that smaller category. Agreed. Yeah, where did I go? I'm sorry, Leo. Yeah, I don't know what happened. My thing, I don't know, got messed up. Team VRY, sup people? Shout out from Manchester, UK. Hey, what's up, team? I don't, you know what? I think I saw you follow me on Instagram. And I think I've been saying Team Very, and I don't think you're Team Very, right? VRY, is it Veray? Let me know so I can properly pronounce it. But welcome to the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. Demetrius in here too. Hey, buddy. Hope you're doing well. I'm good. I'm good. Hope you are too, Demetrius. Thanks for coming to the stream. Okay, let me I'm trying. I'm trying to go to the next story. And Mike with the $2 super chat. Mike, thank you so much. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know if you saw the intro, but I had your name in the intro too, and now you'll also be in the outro. Better late than never. Mike with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Appreciate you stopping by, guys. Okay, let's get into tech. Daniel asks, what's the top donation? On Friday, Leon K. I don't think Leon's here. Leon donated $50. But he's also donated previous days before that. But again, it's not a competition. Just again, thanking you guys for helping out, especially during a time like this with everything that's going on. Just appreciate you guys even stopping by, joining the chat. So let's talk about tech because I'm going off topic here. This article from Samsung. Actually, I do. Oh shit! My stuff is gone because I stopped sharing. Well, no, because I restarted. Okay. This article from Samsung is titled from Tech Radar, Samsung to focus on affordable 5G smartphones. And I actually took some time on Friday to talk about this because I was talking about the A51. And I think someone in chat told me that the A51's processor wasn't that good or wasn't that great. So then I started looking into the Samsung A71. If you guys are in chat and if you guys know anything about the A71, can you guys chime in on that? I know that the A71 has a Snapdragon 700 chipset. I think it's a Snapdragon 730. Have any of you guys used that chipset or use an A71? Is the A71 out yet? I think it is, right? So these are just talking about 5G being enabled to the A series. I know the A71 is going to come out with that. I don't care for 5G right now. I will care about 5G in the future when it's all well and working, properly, but I'm not there yet. Okay, Siri I'm sorry, guys. So, let's continue here. So, A71 is what I was talking about. If any of you guys are familiar with the A71 or the Snapdragon 730 chipset, could you let me know? Because I'm, holy shit, Daniel, man, what, dude? Okay. Daniel Lefker with the $50.01 super chat. I'm in a very good mood today. Enjoy. Add this to that previous one I did. Daniel, man, thank you. Holy shit. Guys, thank you so much, everybody, for the support. I was already trying to get back into tech chat, but Daniel with the $50 super chat. Daniel, thank you, man. Daniel and I we're good friends and we work very closely with each other, but you didn't. Daniel, thank you. Thank you so much. This is probably going to go into my fund of whatever phone I get next, and I'll let you guys know. But guys, thank you so much. I really don't know what else to say, but yeah, you're going to be on the top of the intro outro stuff. So thank you, man. Again, thank you everybody for just joining in, for being in the live stream and supporting. It's still very new to me to have this kind of stuff. So thank you guys. And trust me, all of this money just gets reinvested into what I'm doing to try to make things better. That's why I spent so much time this weekend working on the intro and outro, because I wanted to do something different. And thank you guys. So again, thank you guys so much for the support. Team VRY, it's VRY. I got you, man. I hear you. So thanks for letting me know. Daniel, again, thank you so much. Thanks everybody for the chat. Let's get back into this so I can thank you guys. Thank you again. Oh, I see Tobes, Nwad, that's a hard name for me to pronounce. Nwad Jagu, you're going to have to phonetically spell that out for me. We did talk about the LG Velvet. We did it at the top of the hour, so I'm sorry if you missed it, but replay crew, after this finishes, just feel free to replay it, or actually I might clip this video out, clip that specific LG Velvet part out. So if you have a chance, take a look at that. But we did talk about it. I'm kind of excited to see what's coming out with it. I think the biggest points here was the design seemed really, I mean, it looks pretty nice. It looks minimalistic, really small bezels, but it has a Snapdragon 765G chipset. It's not the or 5G chipset, not 765 5G, but it's not going to be an 865 top of the line. But again, replay crew. So I might clip that video out, which if I do will come out later this afternoon or later this evening. So yeah, but anyway, I do appreciate you stopping by. So thanks again. I real quick before I move over, Daniel says, don't worry, I can treat this like Trump and remove it from a future pay stub if that's what you'd like. No, Daniel, no. If you guys don't know, yeah, again, Daniel and I work together. And no, please don't remove it from my pay stub. I don't want that. Or whatever. I'm lost in my words right now. Let's continue on. A71 is what I'm talking about. Samsung is what I'm talking about right now. Samsung trying to produce better, affordable phones. I would assume in the $400 to $500 range to compete now with the the iPhone SE. Not that Samsung hasn't had mid-range phones, because they have had now for a while, but God, my head is still reeling from the super chats. Guys, thank you again. I think Samsung now wants to compete properly in the market. Am I wrong in saying that they haven't been competing? Maybe, but I really, I want to see people like come out swinging with a $400 to $500 headset phone. Something good in that price range, because that's my price range now. I really don't want to spend more than $500 for a phone. Anyway, let's continue on here. Samsung seeks to reverse the dropping sales trend by focusing on a cheaper 5G lineup, and believes that 5G on affordable smartphones will matter the most in the post-coronavirus economy. See, this is what bothers me right here. Focusing on a cheaper 5G lineup, and believes that 5G on affordable smartphones will matter the most in the post-coronavirus economy. Do you think that right now, when people are buying smartphones, in their head, they might be thinking, yeah, I don't want to spend $1,000. I don't even want to spend $750. $500 is my top budget. $300 is more preferable. So maybe something between $300 and $500. Do you think that their focus right now is, well, it has to be 5G? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And also, let me expand on that. I think that people don't want to spend that money right now, not only because of just everything that's going on, but for the fact that they're spending this money, and they'll probably be buying another phone in maybe 2 years or 3 years. And maybe that's when they can focus on 5G. That's how I think about it. I don't think people are focusing on a $300 to $500 phone with 5G at the top of their priority list. This iPhone SE is going to kill it because they have a high-end chipset in there, and also because it's Apple, right? I mean, it's a combination of things, but they're going to have a well-performing phone at a cheap price, and it's not going to have 5G, and that's not why it's a selling point. I don't think I'm going to see headlines all day saying Samsung, outpaces the iPhone SE because of 5G. I think their focus is wrong. This is not the trend that they need to go to, but everyone's doing it, or at least Android's doing it, so everybody has to do it. I just don't agree with it. As the company also has cheaper 5G phones like Galaxy A51 5G and Galaxy A71 5G, there is growing speculation that the A series devices will be Samsung's focus for affordable 5G phones. Ever since the release of the high-end Galaxy S10 5G version in early 2019, Samsung has been strongly supporting the development of 5G smartphones. 2 more smartphones launched in the premium segment, including the Galaxy Note 10 Plus 5G and Galaxy A90 5G, and all of these are very wordy things to say. Smartphone shipments worldwide is expected to dip by more than 10% this year because of the coronavirus situation. As per data from Strategy Analytics, global smartphone monthly shipments dropped by 38% year over year in February. I'm not going to read all this economy stuff because I don't really care. Again, really what I'm trying to say is I feel like we need to focus on really what people want instead of thinking what we want. I don't think most of us are thinking in our heads we want 5G. This is just companies trying to profit, off of this new technology, marking up the price and saying, "There you go, pay me $1,000." I just don't think it's the right mindset for it. Okay, let's go through chat here. Let's just kind of talk about what's going on. See if you guys have any thoughts on it. Samsung mid-range just got way too expensive. I almost would not call it mid-range anymore. Yeah, I mean, I hear you on that. How do you feel about the ones though in like the $400 price range, like this A71 or A51? Team VRY says, to be honest, I think the only thing missing from the new A series are build quality. The plasticky designs are kind of meh, in my opinion. I can't fault you on that either. I think that's something that Apple is going to show people is, hey, we're still giving you a premium build quality even though the display isn't the best. See, there are compromises there. So you might still get a really nice display from a Samsung phone, but you're not going to get that build quality, or you're not going to get the processing from it, right? You're not going to get the high end performance that you would, on something else. Gadget Beard, hey, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Gadget Beard says Snapdragon 730 in the A71. It's good, fast enough for day-to-day tasks. Gaming is good, maybe not at the highest settings, but good enough and power efficient. That's really good to know. And that actually makes me really hopeful because I'm not a gamer. People who want the highest end chipsets, yes, I understand why you would want a higher end chipset, especially for gaming. But for someone like me who's not a gamer, I feel like I'm a medium to medium heavy user, meaning that I use a lot of apps throughout the day. I use my phone for a lot of like just photo taking, video taking, and social media stuff. So I'm on my phone a lot, but not in those kind of gaming terms. I use it for media consumption. The only game I play is Scrabble. I think that's the only game I play just as a time waster, but that's good to know. I would actually, if I could find a chipset like a 730 or a 765, I would actually like to buy one that is not stock Android to see if I could root one to see if I could, mod it, ROM it, and see how much of a close to pixel experience I would have. But that's good to know. Thank you for sharing that, Gadget Beard. Daniel says we're in such magical lands. We're both getting paid. Yeah, I hear you, man. It's a little crazy right now, especially with everything that's going on. But again, Daniel, thank you. Roland says 5G is a gimmick for the moment. I agree. It's still too early. It's not being widely adopted, even though they're trying so hard to make it. And I think that's what they're doing is they're forcing us to like 5G. They're forcing us to adopt it when it's not necessary right now because it's not the greatest thing at the moment. Tobez, you got to help me with this. Maybe you said it earlier. I don't know. 5G is not coming until 2022. Yeah, I don't see it really becoming a main player right now. I can't tell people. I don't think I'll be telling people for a while, no, you need to buy a phone with 5G because now it's worth it, because it's not worth it right now. It really isn't. It's more money right now. You're paying more money than it's worth it to buy it. Gadget Beard also says that American version of the A series with 5G is overpriced. The A51 is releasing at $400. You can get the A71 international version for $400 or less right now. Actually, so that's what I would like. I would actually look at that A71 international version, but would it work fine for T-Mobile? Would I still get the same like T-Mobile speeds data-wise for the international version of the A71? Because for $400, that's not a bad deal. And actually, that might be a good video comparing the A71 to the iPhone SE that I have coming in. Anyway, thank you for sharing that because, I agree with you here. Days One also says, I wish they would stop pushing 5G to sell. Agreed. If they could make an A55 Plus to use in flagships, that would be great. Or if they even use 855 and not have people complain about the system on chip chipset when 855 can handle plenty. I agree. I really do. And the reason they're not using 855, or the reason they want to stray away from 855, is because it doesn't have 5G. So now they can't use it as a marketing term. They can't use it as a way to get you to buy a phone because it's not 5G. And the consumers who don't know anything about 5G are sitting there saying, well, it doesn't have the latest whatever 5G. It doesn't say 5G, so I don't want to buy it. When they know, in fact, that an 855 would probably outperform a 765, or 855 plus or whatever. It's a shame. It's a disappointment. It's something that I feel like as a tech influencer, right? Like even days one as a tech influencer, it's important that we share this information out because consumers are going to be buying a phone with a lesser chipset because it has 5G instead of getting something like a Snapdragon 855, like spending $500 on a OnePlus 7T because it has a Snapdragon 855 chipset. It's going to be well performing. It might not have the best camera, but you know what I'm saying. It's a well performing phone for a decent price, and it sucks. It sucks to see the way marketing works for a lot of this stuff. Um, okay. I see Will thanking Daniel. Yeah, again, thank you guys. 5G is only an excuse for companies to rise prices at the moment, nothing else. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Mint Arcade says the Rona has pushed 5G plan at least 4 years away, given Huawei is the only provider pushing hard for implementation, in my honest opinion. That's a good point. Ruben Jones. Hey, Ruben, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. That Nubia Res Magic looks promising, especially for the price with all the high-end specs. How do companies like Samsung and Apple get away with these prices? I don't know. And you know what? And that actually brings me to the point too, the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro. Because on Friday, I talked about, I think it was Friday, I talked about how the OnePlus 8 Pro is $699 here, right? So the OnePlus 8 Pro is $700 here. I was saying before it got released, I was saying that the OnePlus 8 or the OnePlus 8 $700, the OnePlus 8 Pro $900. I was saying that it would have been great if the OnePlus 8 was $599 here, and then the OnePlus 8 Pro was $799. I think that would be a much more reasonable price point for that phone and the specs. And then, sure enough, when China released the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro, the OnePlus 8 was priced at $565, so more than $100 off what we are selling it here for, and the OnePlus 8 Pro was $764, which is again over $100 less than what you could get here. Now, yeah, there are things like importing and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think it would have been that much. I don't know. And there was also a part in the article where it said, well, maybe they're doing that because they know that phones are so expensive here in the US and they could upmarket or upcharge it, which is a shame. It really is. It's funny though that you bring up the Nubia because I actually had a article on it that we're past the hour. I might go through that real quick because I don't know anything about these Nubia phones. I also have this other article about the iQOO, and I just don't know shit about that. I really don't. I don't. These are new things that like I don't know anything about, if they're even going to be released in the US, if they're even available in the US. But yeah, I agree with you. The prices are just crazy. They really are. Demetrius says, sorry for the out of topic, Jerome, but did you see the OnePlus 8 Pro screen problems? They got some green tint like the Huawei Mate 20 Pro got before. This cannot be fixed. Isn't a software problem like the S20 Ultra. I didn't see that. And it's not a software problem. It's a hardware issue. They're going to be refunding people their money, right? If that's a hardware issue. I didn't see that. My Pixel 3 had a green tint issue also, and that actually got corrected from software. It looks like the S20 Ultra is also going to be corrected from software. But if it's not going to be fixed, then yeah, they got a really big problem on their hands. Did they say why it was turning green? That's interesting. I didn't know. Okay, so actually, let's go ahead. Let's talk about these real quick, and then I'll end the stream here. So I have this article from GSM Arena talking about the Nubia Play, and the reason I brought this up is because it's going to have a 765G chipset, what we've been talking about for a while. Except this is going to have a 144 hertz refresh rate, which I think is the highest so far. Right? The Nubia Play smartphone will arrive on Tuesday, April 21st, so tomorrow. And well, I guess for one, it's not going to be in the US, right? This Nubia Play. I've never even heard of Nubia. And we finally know more about the phone's looks. It will have no notches or punch holes. The company is sticking to a traditional bezel, but it is ultra thin while keeping the selfie camera within. Here's a thing too. I actually prefer an ultra thin bezel over a notch or a punch hole. I would rather have an ultra thin bezel at the top instead of a notch or a punch hole. That's me. You guys might feel similarly. You guys might feel differently, but I would rather have that instead of something in the way. I mean, when I look at this, right, you see this notch right here. I would rather have a thinner bezel up top. There was also a video of the phone revealing its refresh rate. According to the company Weibo profile, the Nubia Play will have 144 hertz refresh rate and 240 hertz touch sampling rate, similar to its gaming sibling, the Nubia Red Magic 5G. The phone was also revealed to have a Snapdragon 765G. Confirmed the phone will have Quick Charge 4.0 fast charging for the 5100 milliamp hour power cell. That's a huge battery. While yesterday we reported some camera samples, today the brand ambassador shared a video recorded entirely with the Nubia Play. I don't think I've seen this. It demonstrates, I'm going to turn the audio off just because I don't know how the audio, if there's copyright stuff. It demonstrates impressive focusing abilities and realistic colors, although we suspect additional camera related hardware was used by the director. Yeah, maybe like a gimbal. That slow motion looks weird though. That looks really amateurish. But the video is not bad at all. That looks really good, but it definitely looks like it's on some kind of gimbal. Maybe, maybe not. The company CEO Nifei also revealed that Snapdragon 765G smartphones have the fingerprint scanner primarily on the side or on the back. Primarily on the side or on the back. Does it mean it's going to have it on both? What? The sensor will make its way underneath the panel on the Nubia Play. Oh, it was saying that they normally do. However, this one will make its way underneath the panel, effectively confirming the OLED screen. I mean, this quality is really good. I just don't know how accurate that really is, but it looks good from what I'm seeing. Okay. The phone is getting launched in 4 days, and we can't wait to see what the company and its executives are going to tease. It's nice. I just don't know if I'm going to see that come here to the States or if it's even going to be available in the States. Okay, so moving on. So that Nubia, and then there's this other one called IQOO. Have you guys heard of this one? IQOO, am I pronouncing it right? Is it IQ? IQ? Neo 3 5G confirmed to feature dual stereo speakers. Vivo's sub-brand IQOO is set to unveil however this company is pronounced, Neo 3 5G on April 23, so 3 days from now. And the company has been drip feeding information about the smartphone to build up the hype. It was previously released that Neo 3 5G will be powered by the Snapdragon 865. So this is going to have a high-end chipset and will be the cheapest smartphone to have the Snapdragon 865 chipset at the helm. How much? Now the company has announced the Neo 3 5G will feature dual stereo speakers for an enhanced audio experience, which is something that I love. I love dual stereo front firing speakers. I don't know if that's what they're talking about here. I'm assuming so. Additionally, the smartphone will come with a hi-fi chip with a signal to noise ratio of 125 decibels. We don't have the full specs yet, but from previous leaks and official teasers, we know the smartphone will pack a 144 hertz screen. So also a 144 hertz screen with a punch hole in the top right corner. Around the back, it'll have 3 cameras housed inside a rectangular cutout. On the inside, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs, and it's UFS 3.1 also. But there will likely be more memory options that are yet to be confirmed. It'll support 44-watt charging, but the company is yet to confirm its battery capacity. So really, really high-end specs here. And I don't think we're going to get it in the States. I'm assuming not. But it's nice to see these other companies have phones come out that we could at least compare to and see what they price at and see if they're even comparable in terms of camera quality. But for people who might not even put camera as their top priority, I think these phones are going to be really serviceable. Serviceable is not even the right word. They're going to be really well performing, right? A phone that you can use as a daily driver and be happy with maybe not the best camera experience, but overall, outside of that, it's probably going to do really well. At least my opinion. I don't have one, so I can't give you the best opinion in the world, but again, an opinion. So Tobas says here, a water drop notch is not a bad idea. Yeah, you guys seem to agree. Small bezel over notches, add the front-facing speakers. Yep, I'm with you on that. A thin bezel over the notch. Is there ever a mono stereo speaker? No. Vasikos, hello everyone. Hey, Vasikos, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Hey, how's it going? I'm sorry, man, you're making it to the very end of the stream because I'm about to end the stream here, but feel free to watch the replay if you want. I do cover most of this stuff. I will probably cut a couple of these videos up, maybe 2 at the most. I don't think I'm going to cut 3, just depends on what I have here. But Thank you for making the stream. Thank you for stopping by. Roland says here the problem with Nubia and IQOO like phones is always the software. It is. That's so true. But again, that's why I'm such a stock Android person, and that's why like lately I'm like, man, maybe I should do maybe I should mod some of these phones that are able to be modded. I mean, I would have to look into it first and then see if we can put a pixel like experience on it. Because if I could do that, I think that would make me happy. I think I could rock with that. I think I could. But yeah, we'll see. So, other than that, guys, I think that's all I got for today. Really quick here, I am actually just trying to pull out my outro so I have this ready to go when I'm about to say bye. But for everybody who has joined, everybody that's come by, everybody that even came in to just engage, thank you for stopping by. If you guys haven't, I do ask, feel free to like the video. Hopefully it helps me in the algorithm. Hopefully it gets me found for people to watch the stream. But I do want to thank everybody for stopping by again, for everybody engaging in chat, for everybody who went that extra mile and super chatted. Thank you guys so much. That support really helps me out. It helps me pay for everything I need to do to stream and do what I need to do. So guys, thank you so much again. Daniel, thank you so much again for the super chats. I mean, that's really over and beyond. So thank you guys so much. But again, if you guys just came in late, feel free to watch the replay whenever that comes out. YouTube decides when it comes out, so I don't really know. But other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. I stream Monday to Friday every day every day, Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, whatever. I gave you the whole spectrum. But again, thank you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully there will be new news, new tech news. If not, we'll engage in chat. We'll talk about stuff and we'll go from there. So guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one. I'm hitting play on this outro. Remember, the end has thanks to everybody who's super chatted and stuff. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.